Hi, my name is Ahmad. I'm an MBBS graduate from Mumbai, and I've done my MBBS from MGM Medical College, Kamuti.
And Gokula?
Yeah, my name is Dr. Gogla. I finished my MBBS like a year ago, and I finished my UG in Government Medical College and ASA Hospital, Coimbatore.
In Coimbatore. Oh, even I'm from Coimbatore.
That's it.
Okay, amazing. Can I know what was your motivation for choosing the AMC pathway, Gokula?
Recently I came to know about the requirements of undergraduate doctors in Australia compared to other countries. I was already planning to move abroad for my post graduation and masters. And when I came to know about Australia being in demand, I thought that would be the right choice.
Oh, amazing. And Ahmed, what made you want to choose the AMC pathway?
Same, Australia seemed a little more inviting than all the other options,
Yeah, we're very friendly people. You have us.
and I wanted to see the world a bit. I wanted to do my post graduation abroad.
Okay,
That's the
amazing.
concept I had.
So you wanted to do your post graduation outside India, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And what challenges would you say you faced while preparing for the AMC MCQ before joining our group?
Didn't face any challenges before joining because from the get go, I was with GooCampus. As soon as I started the whole process of giving the AMC, I think I came across an Instagram ad and I was just with GooCampus throughout.
Okay. And Gokula, you?
For my initial prep, I couldn't find the right materials. For the path to which the path to clear AMC CAT is quite difficult because the materials are not streamlined. That was
Okay.
the most difficult part. Everything I didn't know where to get the materials from.
That makes sense. Yep. I would say I had the same trouble as well when I was preparing for the exam. So I faced the same trouble as well. Yeah. And how did you come across our training program, Gokula?
Yeah, just an ad on Instagram, I guess. It was a long
On
time ago.
Instagram.
I don't remember vividly, but I think it is an ad from Instagram.
Instagram. So, and you as well, Ahmed, was it Instagram?
That. Yeah.
Instagram. Okay. And how was your experience with our trainers and with our training material and our mentors? How did you find us? And no judgment, no bias. You can be brutally honest. It doesn't matter you're talking to me, so just be brutally honest.
It was good, but I don't think I sat for a lot of the lectures personally.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I was present for a lot of them throughout, but I did go back and watch a few recorded sessions.
So the
But
recorded sessions
I think
helped you.
I've missed quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So going back and re-reviewing the recordings helped. Is that something that you always
Yeah.
wanted? Okay.
Going back and watching the recordings, one thing, and secondly, the PowerPoint presentations. I
Okay.
think I went through those presentations a lot.
Okay, that's really helpful to know. And Gokula,
Yeah, similarly, I was also a working student, so I couldn't directly attend the live sessions. So just like Ahmed,
okay,
I also had to go and watch back the sessions in the GoCampus website. Uh, uh, it was quite informative and very helpful on how the questions would be in the exam. Uh, Apart from that, the guidance throughout the course of what we've been through was very good, in fact, actually. So we could have access to all the mentors easily. This is what I felt during the preparation phase.
like you liked having the possibility of you guys both liked the possibility of reaching out to us through WhatsApp, and like if you guys had any queries for your
Yeah.
questions, you guys
Yeah, I
could reach out
directly
to
Yeah.
asked
us.
any doubt I had, I directly asked you.
That is true. Yes, you did. No, it's good because I also like, and even Ahmed did the same thing, and I liked knowing where your heads were at, like where you guys were going wrong or where you guys were thinking right, where you guys are getting your sources right. That's very important, like, right. And okay, that's really good to know that you guys liked having direct access to that. What did you guys think about the mocks and the recalls sessions?
I really like the mock that we gave, the mock that you made, the one that we gave that time. But all the other mocks, the M plus X mocks, were not very high yield because the questions were repeated and felt like we're just doing the questions again. And it's not even like the options were different. The M plus X mocks, that is.
Okay.
And those were just like a revision of the basic questions we've already done. But the mock that you gave us was very similar to the actual exam, for the length of the questions also, and for the kind of questions also, because
Okay,
it came
that's
exclusively from recalls. Like I could tell
yeah.
that the mock is similar while giving the exam.
Okay, that's really good to know. And Gogula?
Yes, similarly, I also had done the M plus X marks, but since we've finished the M plus X question bank before we start the marks, it was like quite repetitive, and we didn't had have to think or analyze like how the question would be. We would already know the answer because it was from the question bank mostly.
Right.
So that was the
Okay.
biggest problem.
Okay. And recall sessions held by our mentors. How did you guys find that?
Okay,
Was that something?
Very good.
Ahmed, you can go first.
Good. The recall session was very good. That was all I was saying. I had a nice time. For the ones I
Yeah, I
attended,
know.
I had a nice time.
How about the Gogula? What did you think about the twice monthly recall sessions? Were you able to attend those?
No, I always had Aditya asked if those sections were recorded, and I still went back and watched them. I was not able to attend them live.
Okay. And did they help when you went back and saw them?
Like I attended, maybe if there was 7 or 8 monthly recalls, I was able to attend 2 or 3. But then when the exam closed in, I chose to do the recalls in a revision wise manner from the yearly recalls
Revision.
from February to December, November, that way.
Okay. All right. Amazing. Amazing. And how confident were you on your exam day?
Oh, that was nervous. So
Nervous.
very nervous. I was not confident at all. So like couple of weeks back before the exam dates itself, I went and asked people like how confident. In fact, I asked Ahmed too. I guess how confident are you? Uh, like after you've almost finished your prep, how confident are you? I've asked people. They also told me like until you give your exam, you'll never be confident, bro.
Correct.
So and after I finished my exam, I was okay. Like okay, maybe I did my prep, and I think I have a very good chance of clearing this exam. But until then, I was not confident. Maybe it's me, or maybe it's my prep. But I was not very confident for my exam.
How about you, Ahmed?
Not just you. The same story here. I was an absolute wreck. I slept at 4:30 a.m. I think I wasn't getting sleep. I went to bed at 11 and I didn't sleep till 4. I was just rolling around. I wasn't getting sleep at all. I think that might have affected my score a bit. But yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen the next day. That's why the exam was very vague in general. We didn't have any fixed study material, nor did we have any. I don't know, like nothing was fixed. Whenever we came across a recall, we had to find a source which was very like tough to figure out, and we don't know if the recall is right, if the question is right, if the answer is right. So we
So
were
that's
very
the
confused.
that's a tough part with the AMC exams, isn't it? Because that's where the AMC exams is different to NEET exams, where it's the they don't give us a syllabus. They give us like the topics can vary from medicine from head to toe, right? Like as you guys have experienced in your exams, they can vary from any topic that is commonly seen, but and it mainly comes from the fact that you guys haven't worked in the Australian system. It's a bit unfair because you guys are not working in the Australian system, and they're asking you questions about the conditions and the treatment plan in Australia, correct?
Yeah.
And when we go back, like when I was a total wreck for my exam. Not only you, my confidence level was also very very low, and I went for the exam. I didn't know if I would clear it either, and then only when after I started working in the hospital here, I realized, that's why they're asking me that question.
Okay.
Okay, now it makes sense why they're asking me all these questions. because they're not cases that we see back home. They're cases that it actually happens here, and they're asking you questions about that, and we don't know if they has actually been seen in the hospital. Yeah.
Right.
So and that was actually what the feedback from the AMC Council, with the meeting that I had with the AMC Council, said the same thing as well. They said that it's very much dependent on the diseases that happen in Australia right now. So it changes, unfortunately. I guess. How did you feel after getting the AMC results?
Actually, there was a hack because, like, before the AMC results come through to your mail, if you go
Yeah,
website, check in your AMC portfolio, it says you're eligible for MCQ
clinical.
for the clinical exam. I didn't know that. Some
Yes.
people told me that, okay, but still I was very confused. Once I got the result, only I was. It was quite good.
Good. And Ahmed?
I was asleep. Aditya woke me up with the result and the good news. I told her, please check it for me. I don't think I'm going to wake up on time. So she gave me up and she said, you have passed. Congratulations, doctor. I said, please send me the result. Thank you so much. But yeah, that felt good.
I guess that's a good way of waking up, isn't it? Like knowing that you
Yeah.
passed the
Yeah,
exam.
you didn't have to go through the anxious time of waiting for the result.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not to you guys. I think one of the other doctors went in the portfolio and said you're eligible for the clinical exam, and they're like, "Ma'am, what does this mean? Did I pass? Did I fail? What does this mean? Like, why can't they just honestly tell me if I passed or failed right away?" No. That's a fair point. But I guess it's a good feeling to know. Hey, I don't know if it is a conflicting feeling, because when you pass one exam, they're telling you, instead of saying you pass, they're saying that you can take another exam. So it is a very, very conflicting feeling to have.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's fair. Um, I guess the other question I had was, what advice would you give future AMC aspirants who wants to take the MCQ exam, or wants to choose this pathway? Because there's so many pathways available, like the US, the NEET exam, the Canadian exams, the UK exams, right? So, what would you guys advise them?
I feel like till I reach Australia and start working there, I'm in no position to give anyone any advice. But
Okay, what about the AMC MCQ prep, Ahmed? What would you advise the AMC?
Recalls are absolutely clutch. Within the first 10 minutes, I felt very, very confident while writing my paper because I'd seen at least 6 or 7 questions before I went in. I don't think they were exactly the same, but I could tell that I've read this topic and like I know what's up. So I think recalls were very, very clutch.
Recalls, okay. And Gokula, what would you advise future candidates who want to
Yeah,
take
now that
MCQ
Ahmed
prep?
has established the importance of recalls, what I feel is even in the recalls, it is more important to cover the topic of the recalls than the recall and the answer.
Okay.
Correct. So now
That is
it
what
doesn't
I
mix.
felt was quite important because the question could be anyway, but still, if you know the topic, you will most probably get the right answer. If you don't know the
Once I
topic and
came out of
the
the
question,
exam
you
and
will go for it.
sorry,
Anything,
once
Ankit?
I came out of the exam and tried to recall questions, I realized how tough it must have been for recallers to give us recall questions.
Yes,
But I
yes,
couldn't remember anything.
yes.
At least the way I
Correct.
remembered it in my head that time, it didn't come out the same when I wrote it down and tried sending forward the recalls.
Yeah.
So you can appreciate these recallers, right? You really have to commend them for
Yeah,
their hard work
when I'm
putting
going through
back.
and solving the recalls, I'm like getting irritated with these people saying, "What have you written? What is all this? Is this even a question?
Correct.
What is the
So,
question here?" But when you give the exam, you realize it's tough to remember so much. And
During the
yeah.
exam, we feel like, why these questions are easy. You can easily recall them. But once you're out of the exam, it's like, what did I do?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I think so. That's why I like to stress for you guys. Like, remember, whenever you guys give me a question, I tell you the question's not fully done, it's half done, and there's only half the information. But if the question came this way, we're gonna answer it this way. If the question came this way, you're gonna answer it this way. You're using the recall questions, the topics, like Gokula said, right? And that's the sense of the whole thing, to understand what are the, because they don't give us a syllabus or a curriculum, we have to say, okay, so what are the cases? Because the AMC handbook is not enough to say, hey, those are the only topics coming in the exam. Because in fact, They're very little,
Yeah.
correct? They're very, very little. Like there's not enough at all, right? So that's very, very important. No, I agree with you guys. And I guess that the final, any final thoughts or comments that you'd like to share for GoCampus, the KP Balan team, and also the AMC MCQ aspirants that, like, any final thoughts that you guys would like to, motivation or good feedback or anything?
Ma'am, study material. Somehow. I don't know how you do it, but I think those PowerPoints were all right that way. Like you have some study material to read and look at. I think that's very important because we were very lost throughout. We were just solving M plus X and just doing the questions and trying to read what comes down, like that answer explanation, and that felt like that was the only study material. But then again, it wasn't something that we could look back at again and revise because you're essentially just doing the same questions again. Then, so that information which comes under the question box, that was what we were using to study essentially. So we need that information in a separate place where we can go through it again because I think repeating something is important because it's tough to remember otherwise. But if we figure study material, then we're good. And the recall exam was very, very nice, the mock exam. There should be one like that every month.
We are actually, we had one for March. Yeah, so we are continuing that for the rest of the year. We are having one every month, and then candidates can take multiple exams because you guys gave
Yeah.
us such good feedback about that. So we have kind of tailored it more and more for candidates to do better in the future exams. Yeah, it gives me an idea as well how you guys are doing, what subjects you guys are doing. And Gogula?
Yes. So the difficult part, as I said about earlier regarding the AMC CAT, is that to find the answers. That was the difficult part. With constant changing of guidelines and the therapeutic guidelines or the indications, where to find the answer would be the biggest question in this exam. So what I admired most about GoCampus and KP was they help me find the answers. Like, how can I find the answers? Where can I find the answers? Who should I approach? Which websites I should use? That was the most biggest thing. Once I was through that, my number of questions to KP automatically came down. The number of questions, because I was able to find those answers in the websites prescribed by the Austrian uh, AFRA. So that was the biggest.
AMC, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, AMC.
Yeah. But Gogula, you guys know that there's you guys were given the Telegram group with all the guidelines in there.
Yeah, apart from that, see the
Yeah.
cancer screening, the other screenings, we all had those guidelines here and there.
Yeah.
But for the smaller details, the minute things here and there, when during the exam week recall, while we couldn't very anxious about where the answers are, it was quite useful. The trick of how to find the answers is already with us, which you
Okay, so
helped
you
us.
guys want more like, because when you ask me questions, I would send you the links as
Yes,
well. Yes, I used to send you guys the links, right, where
Yeah.
I found the answer. So I guess you guys want me to like. You guys want us to direct you saying, okay, if it's a medicine question, I want you to check this guideline and see if you can find it in that.
yeah,
Is
that
that
was
what
the
you guys
biggest
want?
plus, I would say. Rather than directly giving the answer, you would teach us how to find the answers.
Correct. Because that's the essence, right?
Yeah, so
Teaching
that
you how to find the answers right.
yeah, like when I need to do something immediately, rather than waiting for you to help me with it, I could directly go find the answer
Correct.
and
Yeah.
then put it out to you and check if it's right.
Okay, did you guys also look through the Word document that was sent to you through your orientation session with all which subject-wise breakdown
Links,
as to
yes,
where you can? Yeah, yeah.
that is
So
also what I
that
was
was
talking about.
That is helpful. Okay, that was also helpful. Perfect. That was very good to know.